What a beautiful morning. I'm hopefully going to capture autumn this morning before it disappears. I've come down to a place local to me. I've been here but very, very long time ago. A place called Andrews Wood, which is managed by the Devon Wildlife Trust. We came down here last week to walk the dog. Found some really nice compositions down here, so I'm hoping to capture this colour before it disappears. Excuse me, mister. It's extremely muddy down here, which we found out the other day. So this time I've brought my wellies, so not too much of a problem. So I'm out with the, you might have noticed I've got a different bag on my back. It's a huge, great thing. It's I bought it primarily for my 8x10 camera. But I'm also going to use it for the 4x5, and it's great, it's very comfortable. God, it's muddy here. So I'm shooting 4x5 this morning, and I've got some Kodak E100 transparency film, which I'm hoping will really boost these colours up. But I've also got a couple of rolls of Kodak Gold 200, so I'm hoping to shoot some panoramics as well. So I brought the Chroma Panoramic back with me, so we shall see what we can get. I'm just going to get down to the viewpoint and get set up. Okay, here we go. It's my first stop. This lovely old pathway leading through. So it leads right through the woods here. Got these lovely colours up there and off to my other side as well. And there's also some nice leaves that had fallen down. So the plan is I'm going to shoot here first. I've got 4 sheets of E100. Light level's pretty low this morning, but the sun is picking up, so it shouldn't be too bad. E100 is obviously 100 speed, so it should be okay. But some lovely, I think with the polarizer as well. I've got this green moss, you can see down here. It's green moss down here, and that should come out really nice with the E100. And when I was here the other day, the light was blaring right down this path, but this morning, it's quite early in the morning, it's coming up over my left-hand shoulder. And it's just starting to light the trees that are overhanging this pathway, and it's bringing out all that beautiful colour. And like I say, I'm shooting 4x5 this morning. There will be an 8x10 shoot imminently. I don't know if you've watched this. If you're new to the channel, hello. Please check out my other videos. I've also done a restoration series on a Wisner 8x10, which I've now got. I'll put a link up to the series. You can sort of watch through that. It's about 4 or 5 parts. But yeah, I'm still shooting 4x5. Which is good. In fact, this feels tiny compared to the 8x10. Shooting with a 90mm this morning. Nice and wide, but not too wide. So I need to pull the rear standard forward a bit. Also got a new geared head, so I'm able to get my levels finely tuned, which is great. This makes things a lot easier. This head is so good as well. It's easy to fine tune it. Looks beautiful. A bit more light coming through on this pathway now, which is great. I'm going to take some meter readings and get the first shot in the bag, hopefully. I'm going to shoot at f32. I've got quite a lot of detail here from this foreground part right the way through and into the background. If I don't stop down far enough, even though it looks like I've got focus right through, I might lose a bit of it in the background and in the foreground. So I've used some tilt on the lens just to give me a bit of focus on this foreground, and then refocus for the background so everything's sharp. I'm getting about half a second f32, but I need to use a polarizer, so it's gonna bump me up to allow for that as well. I'm using a grad, just a 0.6 soft grad, just over the top half of the frame, because the light's getting quite intense on that part. And it's quite dark in the foreground, so it kind of balances it up a bit. And because this is slide film, it just helps kind of balance the exposure up. So I've got half a second base reading, allowed 2 stops for the polarizer. So that brings me to 2 seconds. So that should be good. That sounds about right for these conditions. A little bit of sky in the top part of the frame, which don't really want that to blow out. But yeah, that should be okay. Although Kodak E100's done a nice job of this in terms of colours, I think in hindsight the composition hasn't really worked. It's a little bit too busy, I think. I would have been better to use a slightly narrower point of view, not the 90mm. I'm also going to shoot this in panoramic as well. Looks quite nice with this path leading through. So I'm going to swap my lens out for the 135 and get the panoramic back on. That's really tricky to focus this because got this bank of trees off to the left hand side, and then the path obviously running through and the distant trees. The problem is these trees here, I've had to use a very slight bit of swing just to get those trees in focus and to the background and this path in focus. So I'm going to have to stop down to, I would say probably f32 is enough. I'm not too worried about losing detail right in the distance. It's more about this path, these trees, and this overhang here. So it should be fine. So Kodak Gold 200 loaded up. So that's on there. Haven't used this film. Well, last time I used it was probably on a lad's holiday to Kavos back in the 90s in a disposable camera. But yeah, so I'm interested to see what how it performs on this sort of thing. Should give me some nice kind of rich colours. I've got to remember to reset my meter as well as a 200. Double check that. So it's giving me a 1/4 of a second base reading. Polarizer on again, 1/4 second. 1/4, half, 1 second. Okay. Sun's behind me still. I've had to slightly shift my composition because I was starting to get my shadow at the bottom. I haven't used this panoramic back for a while, so it's nice to shoot some panos. Now this is far better. The panoramic format has really worked for this shot. It's kind of cropped out the sky at the top, which was quite distracting. I also like these trees off to the left hand side, and it kind of draws your eye into the frame, and having the path slightly off centre kind of works better as a composition in this format. Okay, time to move on to the second composition. Okay, so I've stumbled on another location, or viewpoint, which I didn't see the other day. Got this tree behind which is covered in moss. Looks really nice, and also the tree hanging over the pathway here. You can see how the light's catching this, it's beautiful. And also down here at the end there's a little gate, so this sort of whole composition here should look quite nice, kind of leading you through to the gate. But yeah, it looks really good. So I'm going to shoot this with the 135mm lens. Nice sort of tightish crop on this, but it also works in panoramic. So this is good. Even though it's still quite early in the morning, this is quite a popular spot for dog walkers. So I'm kind of making sure I'm off the main path. So if anybody comes down, which they did just now, it means I haven't got to shift the camera out of the way and then put it back, refocus, and all that sort of thing. So it makes life a bit easier. Okay, so that's pretty good. Got a little bit of rear tilt on this. I've got this tree sort of standing up here, so trying to keep everything parallel, all my levels level, so it's trying to sort of keep everything in parallel here. It's very dark in the background, but I'm not too worried about that. It's more about this this tree and this overhang here, and the colours. It looks quite nice. I'm taking a couple of readings here, because obviously this tree trunk is quite dark on the back. I'm not too worried about getting lots of detail in that. It's more about this overhang and the pathway. So I've got 2 readings. I've got half a second off a nice sort of mid-tone, and I'm getting about 4 seconds on this tree. So I think I'm going to go in between, so 2 seconds. If I go on that pathway, that basically gives me the same reading. Now obviously I've got polarizer, so 2 stops, so 2, 4, that's 8 seconds. And just double check reciprocity on this film. We've got 8 seconds base reading. Yeah, we're fine. That's okay. Now this is certainly captured autumn. Again, Kodak E100. It's quite a saturated film, not as saturated as Velvia maybe, but it still kind of boosts those colours up. The colours aren't overly saturated, but it definitely makes them stand out. It makes them pop off the screen. Compositionally, again, I prefer this to my first attempt along the pathway through the woods. I just think this works better. Okay, that's the 4x5 shots done. I'm going to try this in panoramic as well, see if it'll work. And again, I can use a few movements here, a little bit of front rise, just to kind of want that base of that tree to sit at the bottom of the frame basically. And also I've used a little bit of swing again because I'm slightly kind of out of kilter with this composition leading down through there, and I want this tree sharp. Other than that, no tilt needed. But again, I'm going to shoot f32 just to get some focus and depth of field down through there, down through to that little bridge at the end there and those trees. So yeah, it's good. This is actually a joy to use, this panoramic back. It's far easier than the 4x5, believe it or not, but I tend to find that I need to use a bit more movements with this. You'd think you'd just put it on and just shoot and it's going to get everything in focus, but no, you need a little bit more work than that to keep everything on the plane of focus to be right. So I'm back on the Kodak Gold 200. So I'm going to take some meter readings now. Same spots as I used before. Should give me a little bit of a different exposure now. I'm quite surprised by this film, Kodak Gold 200. I've always kind of dismissed it, but here it's really sort of brought this scene to life. It's not as saturated as the E100, but that's fine. But it still gives some nice colours. It's very sharp, and overall a really good sort of tonality to it. And compositionally, it's quite rare to get a panoramic shot as well as a 4x5 from the same viewpoint. But here I think it's worked. In fact, I kind of prefer this to the 4x5 shot. Okay, that was a good little shoot. Of course we don't know, so the results come back. That's all part of the fun. A horrible feeling I made a couple of mistakes with the E100 slide film. Just something, I don't know, something tells me I've made a mistake with that, but we shall see. But this Kodak Gold, I'm quite interested in finding out what this looks like. It's been nice to get out with the camera. It's been a while. I think the last time I was out shooting with this was back in August when I did the wild camp. The photography for me now has become my kind of happy place. It kind of chills me out. It's nice to just get out and just completely focus on this. And we've had quite a a hectic few months with house purchases and house falling through and all kinds of stuff going on, but it's been nice to get out today. It's nice to catch autumn, and I think I've pretty much got it at its best down here today. But yeah, so I'm gonna get packed up and get back to the van. Please let me know what you think. Always interested in your comments, and if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And like I say, I am imminently going to be shooting with the 8x10 camera soon, so please watch out for that. But for now, I shall leave the video here, and I shall see you next time.
One of these moments will stick in my mind, and one of these afternoons, I swear, we'll get up and we'll leave this time. We never make it very far. I like you riding in my